The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning, America. It is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, and you're listening to The Neural Left. I am Julian Archer, broadcasting live from the Panopticon, high above the chaos of Manhattan, and I am feeling absolutely electric today. We are saving democracy one broadcast at a time, and I've got my pure oxygen standing by because we have a truly packed episode for you today.
Put the oxygen away, Julian. It's too early for the theatrics. I'm Mary Kane, coming to you from Queens, where the sirens are louder than your baritone and the coffee is actually black, not some chemically engineered electrolyte slurry.
Oh, spare me the grit, Mary. You love the showmanship. Look, we've got some crucial developments to get into. Yesterday, we were talking about Juliana Stratton's brilliant victory in Illinois, taking down the big money in that Senate primary, and the absolute collapse of the DHS under this blue flu. But today the world is literally on fire, the borders are being turned into toll booths, and the Democratic Party is having a bit of a, well, let's call it a personality crisis in the hallways of the Senate.
It's more than a crisis, Julian. It's a structural failure. We're watching the plumbing of the global energy system get ripped out while the adults in the room are arguing over who gets to hold the wrench. Honestly, it's a lot.
It is absurd. But before we dive into the wreckage of the Middle East, we have to talk about a win, a rare, beautiful moment of judicial sanity. Mary, tell the people about Robert F. Kennedy getting a reality check in Boston.
Oh, you hate to see it. Well, actually, we love to see it. Look, here's the deal. A federal judge in Boston, Judge Brian Murphy, just threw a massive wrench into FKJ's plan to dismantle the national childhood vaccine schedule.
Right.
Basically, Kennedy and his Make America Healthy Again movement, the MAHA movement, which sounds like a bad yoga retreat, tried to unilaterally slash the recommended vaccines for kids from 17 down to 11. They wanted to strip away recommendations for things like the flu, rotavirus, and meningitis.
It's Republican terrorist policy wrapped in a wellness blanket. It's dangerous.
Exactly. And Judge Murphy called it arbitrary and capricious. He didn't just block the policy, he invalidated Kennedy's decision to fire all 17 members of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices and replace them with a bunch of hand-picked skeptics.
Right. You mean he didn't want the health secretary to just appoint his drinking buddies to decide if our kids get polio? What a concept!
What a concept! But the Harvard School of Public Health is already warning that the damage to public trust is done. Even with the injunction, the political pressure is ramping up for the 2026 midterms. It's like trying to fix a burst pipe after the basement is already flooded.
But at least the judge stood up. I'm telling you, the institutions are holding, even if they're fraying at the edges. But while we're talking about fraying, look at what's happening at the State Department. This is where my happy warrior mask starts to slip, Mary.
Go on, get it out of your system.
I mean, let's talk about these visa bonds. According to reports from the Times of India and PBS, the administration just expanded this wealth test to 12 more countries, 50 nations now.
It's a pay-to-play border.
It's worse. If you're from Cambodia, Ethiopia, or Georgia, and you want a tourist visa, you might have to cough up $15,000 as a refundable bond. $15,000!
Right.
Who has that kind of cash sitting around in the global south? It's a targeted strike on the poor, and let's be honest, it's a targeted strike on the non-white world. It's making the soul of America look like a gated community with a no vacancy sign written in blood.
And it's not just the money, Julian. Look at what they're doing with the DNA collection. The Minneapolis Surge, as they're calling it. They're using the DNA Fingerprint Act to turn every minor immigration encounter into a genetic data harvest.
It's the surveillance state on steroids.
It's creepy. It's like my nephew Vector and his Neural Daily crowd. They're probably over there drooling about genetic optimization or some other tech fascist nonsense. But in the real world, in Queens, people are terrified. If you have a document conflict, say you're trans, and your sex assigned at birth doesn't match, the State Department is using that as a reason for an immediate denial.
Oh, spare me. The cruelty is the point. They want to make the process so expensive and so invasive that nobody even tries. It's a digital wall built out of DNA and dollar bills.
Well, speaking of digital walls and things that make my skin crawl, look, I gotta tell you, the battle over Section 702 of FISA is heating up again. The expiration is April 20th.
Look, I know where this is going.
The Brennan Center put out a brief saying the government is laundering data. They're buying info from third-party brokers, all those apps on your phone, to bypass the Fourth Amendment. And now they're pushing AI into schools.
AI in schools?
Yeah. Brookings is reporting that since the Office of Educational Technology was shuttered, schools are they're letting these AI tools in without any guardrails. It's becoming a mass domestic surveillance vector for kids.
So we're tracking the kids' DNA at the border and their search history in the classroom. We're training the next generation to live in a panopticon.
A panopticon with a $3.84 gas price. That's the real kicker.
Oh, let's go there. Let's talk about the shadow bubble. Gasoline is up 80 cents in a month because of this war with Iran, which I've said from day one is a catastrophic success, and the administration's answer is to waive the Jones Act?
The Jones Act waiver. It's a 60-day Band-Aid, Julian.
It is absurd. You waive a 1920 maritime law to let foreign flag ships move oil between U.S. ports, hoping it lowers the price at the pump by a nickel?
And you piss off every union dock worker in the country while you do it. The American Maritime Partnership is livid. They're saying it displaces American workers to reward foreign operators. It's a classic move. Burn the floorboards to keep the house warm for 5 minutes.
And meanwhile, they're pushing tax deductions for car loan interest. I mean, let's be real. That's just a subsidy for the big lenders. It's corporate cronyism dressed up as populist relief.
It's the shadow bubble, Julian. FreightWaves is talking about this $2 trillion private credit bubble starting to crack. People can't afford their cars. They can't afford the gas to put in them. So the government says, hey, we'll let you deduct the interest on the debt you're drowning in.
It's brilliant. It's like giving a drowning man a tax credit on the water he's swallowing. Look, I gotta say, before we get into the heavy stuff, we need to acknowledge the people who make this possible.
Oh, here we go. The theatrical gala portion of the evening.
Look, independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He is not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations.
He's a good kid. Even if he works in media, he hasn't lost his soul yet.
Exactly. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media to support this work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
And that keeps Julian in pure oxygen. It's a humanitarian mission, really.
Exactly. Now, Mary, let's talk about the Maverick. Let's talk about John Fetterman.
Ugh, do we have to?
We have to because he is out there calling his own party hypocritical for criticizing the strikes on Iran. He's essentially saying, hey, you guys wanted a non-nuclear Iran. Well, we're blowing up their facilities. Why aren't you cheering?
He's mocking progressives, Julian. He's literally out there rebranding himself as the non-progressive Democrat. He's supporting border restrictions, he's pro-war, and he's laughing at his colleagues who staged the walkout over the Epstein investigation.
My thing is he wrong, or is he just the only one willing to say the quiet part out loud? The party is fractured. You've got the billionaire-backed establishment on the one side and the grassroots on the other, and Fetterman is just sitting in the middle with a sledgehammer.
I disagree with you there. I think he's auditioning for a role in a different movie. You can't call yourself a man of the people while you're backing policies that drive up the cost of living for those very people. It's a gimmick. It's like a wrestler changing his heel or face status to stay relevant.
A political heel turn. I love it. But look at Zohan Mamdani in New York. He's trying the opposite.
Yeah, the community safety model. Today, he's signing an executive order for the Office of Community Safety, $260 million.
Right.
But he scaled it back, Julian. He promised a $1.1 billion department. Now it's just a mayoral office. That means the next guy can close it with a stroke of a pen.
It's a compromise. That's how the game is played.
Is it a compromise or is it a surrender? We're spending $81,000 per unsheltered person in the city, and the street homelessness isn't budging. We're moving the furniture around while the building is on fire.
But he's trying to shift away from quality of life policing. He's trying to reimagine justice. I think it's a strategic masterstroke, even if it's a small one.
You and your masterstrokes. I'll believe it when I see a mental health crisis call handled by someone who's not carrying a Glock.
Fair enough, but now we have to talk about the main event. We have to talk about Operation Epic Fury and the global energy war.
This is the heavy one. This is the one where the metaphors stop being funny.
According to the Sofon Center and the Institute for the Study of War, we are 20 days into active kinetic warfare, and yesterday, Wednesday, March 18th, everything changed. Israel struck the South Pars gas field.
The largest natural gas field in the world.
It's the plumbing, Mary, like you said. They hit the Asaluye processing hub. That's 75% of Iran's domestic gas supply. Gone.
And Iran didn't just sit there and take it. They hit back. They hit Ras Laffan in Qatar, the world's largest LNG facility. They hit the Samref refinery in Saudi Arabia. They sent drones to Fujairah in the UAE.
They're hitting the U.S. allies where it hurts, the wallet.
And the energy attrition phase has officially begun. While the Trump administration is out there saying this is about preventing a nuclear Iran, the U.S. intelligence community is starting to leak that the justification might be, well, let's say, thin.
It's a regime change war masquerading as a non-proliferation strike. I've been saying this for weeks. We're spending $40 million an hour on this.
$40 million an hour? That's enough to fix every lead pipe in Queens every single day.
It is absurd. And now we've got the political decapitation aspect. Israel killed Iran's intelligence minister, Ismail al-Khatib, in an airstrike.
Right.
You don't kill the intelligence minister if you're just trying to disable a few centrifuges. You kill him if you're trying to topple the entire house of cards.
But what happens when the cards fall, Julian? We've seen this movie before. Iraq, Afghanistan. We blow the roof off the building and then act surprised when it rains inside.
Exactly. And the domestic fallout is already here. Gas is nearly $4 a gallon. The Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed. The global economy is shivering, and we're sitting here waving the Jones Act like that's going to stop a tsunami.
It's the war on reality, Julian. That's what I've been covering since the 80s. Only now the reality is that the energy grid is global, and you can't just hit the plumbing in Iran without the water shutting off in Peoria.
I'm telling you, it is a catastrophic success. We've destroyed their Iranian regime's ability to function, but in the process, we're destroying the American consumer's ability to survive.
And the Democratic Party, our holy order, as you like to call it, is just what? Fetterman's cheering and the rest are whispering in the cloakrooms?
Well, that's why we're here, Mary, to stop the whispering and start the shouting.
You've got the shouting covered, Julian. I'll handle the skepticism.
Look, it's a heavy day. We've got energy wars, DNA surveillance, and a wealth test for travelers. But we also have a judge in Boston who remembered that science actually matters.
Small favors.
I'll take 'em. Look, let me tell you, democracy isn't a spectator sport. It's a high-speed chess match, and the opposition is currently trying to flip the board over. We have to stay sharp, stay loud, and stay informed.
And for the love of everything, check your car loan interest rate, because apparently that's our new national security strategy.
Absurd. Truly absurd. Look, we're going to be back tomorrow to see if the gas prices hit $5 or if the Senate finally decides to grow a backbone.
Don't hold your breath on the backbone.
I've got the oxygen for that. Anyway, that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Neural Left. Support independent media, support the truth, and for God's sakes, keep fighting.
Stay gritty, people. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, America. Now, where's my scotch? It's 9:15 a.m. somewhere.
It's 9:15 here, Julian. Get it together.
Exactly. Perfection. Show's over.